Welcome to Brick by Brick, man. We took a couple weeks off, but we back, man. We got a really dope episode, Final Four special. I'm actually broadcasting live from Las Vegas hotel room because I'm down here at the NAB show. So going down to check out some creators and check out some new gear and check out all the things. But first, let me just go ahead and tap in with J-Dan, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, good, man. Just Priest's birthday today. We got Nalia's on Wednesday.
Okay, so you in the throes of it. I'm getting ready to be there. Ann's birthday is on May 1st, and then it's Mother's Day the next week. So I just call it the portal. I'm like, all right, so I'm just
real.
pretty much just it is what it is. And she's gonna hear this and be like, he's complaining again. I'm like, man, it's not a complaint. I love it. I'm just saying that it's I focus those 2 weeks on you. Like that's just it.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit of pressure involved there. I'm going on 23 years, so it's like 24, 23 years. So it's kind of like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do at this point? You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
yeah.
How long you down to Vegas?
I'm down here till Tuesday. So I'm going to try to hit up Shock tomorrow, see what he's up to. Today, like, I got my man Gabe hitting me up right now, like, trying to see like what time I'm going to go down to the show to check out some stuff. But I'm going to go down there. I got my vlog camera with me. I might get some stuff. I don't know. There's hella creators here, though. It's like, it's huge. It's gigantic. So I don't know what to expect. This is my first time, and I'm excited to just go check out new cameras, new stuff, new gear, just be around other creators.
Yeah.
So, man, real estate-wise, things are going all right. So what are you seeing out there in the real estate market real quick before we get to our guests?
With me, I've been having just a lot of buyers trying to get pre-approved right now.
Okay.
A lot of buyers come out the woodwork trying to get pre-approved, buy something for spring. Talking with some lenders, there's a lot of new programs coming up. So actually, shout out to my guy, Michael Forneret.
Yep.
Right now, he has a thing that Black and brown people, they're trying to give away $50,000 to $100,000 for a down payment you don't have to pay back. So he with some other lenders that I don't really know. I forget, it's called like the bar or something like that. But of course, they're trying to make a small little window. But it's like you have to be. They just announced it like 2 weeks ago, and you have to be under contract by May 1st.
Okay.
So like they're giving people like a 1 month window, not trying to give people, but it's their way of real estate reparations, I guess, kind of how he explained it. But I mean, it's pretty much a month to possibly get up to $100,000 in a down payment you have to pay back. So I'm trying to get that out there to as many Black people as I know, just first time home buyers. I mean, it's a big thing if you get $100K down. I mean, that changes your monthly payment, that changes your affordability.
100%.
Homeowner.
That's huge. And I'd be remiss to, and I just mentioned this on the other podcast that I did, is it's April is National Fair Housing Month for in real estate, and a lot of people don't and even I didn't know that if it wasn't for MLK being assassinated, we would not have fair housing. Fair housing, actually, Lyndon B. Johnson signed it into action a week after MLK was assassinated. So it was in response to this civil rights. It would be like if it was like the George Floyd thing. So it's kind of like that, but just happened in 1968, And so and MLK was a really staunch, he was a really big housing advocate because he realized like that's how Black people could get wealth. And so after he was assassinated, boom, literally the next week,
they
passed the National Fair Housing Act, which is crazy. So this is April's National Fair Housing Month, and we'll have more information on all that. All right, let's get to what people came here for, Final Four stuff. So we got the Final Four going on right now. Today is the Women's Championship. It's Sunday as of the time of recording this. And then Monday, tomorrow, is going to be the Men's Championship. And we have two guests with us today who have actually walked on that floor and did their thing on that floor in the Final Four, which is crazy. And one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of and ever seen. So my first guest, let's get to our first guest coming on. First guest is a Sierra Canyon graduate. We just learned too, as we were talking, I didn't realize he was with that Marvin Bagley team. So I seen this man play before I even met him after the fact years later. He's a San Diego State legend. He's a knockdown shooter. Everybody sees a 3-and-D guy. And fun fact, he's the winningest player in San Diego State history. He's number 1 in games played, number 1 in victories, number 1 in conference victories, number 5 in 3-point percentage, and number 8 in 3-pointers. And my man joining us today, we got Adam Seiko, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can get Adam on here real quick. Oops, there you go. I put him on it. What's up? What's up, my man?
What's
Adam
good? What's
Seiko.
good, man?
We got
Yeah.
the
What's
man,
up?
the winningest player in San Diego State history, man. That's
What's
crazy.
good, Dave? Yes, sir. What's good, Dave? Appreciate you guys having me on, Jordan. Good seeing you, brother. Man, it's funny you mentioned that because I tend to forget about that sometimes, all the winning
Mhm.
and stuff. So it's definitely a blessing. I'm definitely humbled by it, and I'm grateful to, be on this podcast with y'all today.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you joining us, man. We got one more guest that's gonna join us. Go ahead and bring him
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, your next guest is a bucket, another San Diego State legend. Started at Cal, ended at San Diego State. He was among I think ranked ninth in scoring and active D1 players. First team All Mountain West Newcomer of the Year in 2022. We got Matt Bradley.
What's up, Matt Bradley?
What's
We
up?
got
Yeah, nah, just hearing about y'all real estate endeavors. Definitely got to tap in about that. That was
Oh
interesting
yeah.
yeah.
stuff. So, but other than that, just, working back in my hometown, doing what I do, helping out the youth, next up and coming, Matt Brads and Adam Seiko's around here. So, just, yeah, just
Yes,
doing
sir.
me, enjoying life.
I love
Thank you
it,
for
man.
having me. Yeah, thank you for having me.
I love it. So I'll just start with Seiko. Like tell us a little bit about yourself, man, and how'd you end up at San Diego State?
Yeah, well, so I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. Lived there for about 10 years before moving to LA. Attended Sierra Canyon from 7th grade through 12th. And so basically, I started playing an elite level of basketball when I would say like 6th grade, 5th, 6th grade. When I moved to LA, I started playing, against older guys, 16U, 15U, playing on elite AAU teams. Won a couple national championships as well in AAU 7th and 8th grade with my Sierra Canyon brothers. So from then on, at a young age, we were playing elite basketball. We had college coaches recruiting us from a young age. I remember that San Francisco, or I think GCU, was one of my first offers back in my freshman year. And SDSU came into the picture in 8th grade. Dave Velasquez and Dutch, they came to Sierra Canyon to watch our middle school guys because we were about to enter into high school, and we had such a talented group. I think all of us were like top 60 in the country at that time. So Dutch and Dave come to the gym, and then over time, they noticed me and they noticed, my passion for the game, my IQ, how hard I play, and my defense, of course, which is what, we're known for.
Yeah.
And over time, they continued to recruit me. And I remember it was my junior year playing at EYBL with Marvin Bagley's team, Remy Martin, Cody Riley, all those guys.
Uh,
And I'm coming back home to LA. I'm in the airport, and Fisher was at the tournament. Dutch was there. Dave
yes.
was there, and so Fish calls me while I'm at the airport, and he's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna offer you today.
Yeah.
San Diego State's offering you a scholarship today." And so from then on, I was just so grateful. Me and Jordan Shackle went on a visit. I think a few weeks later, and then from then it was history. I think we committed like the day after our visit.
That's dope. That's dope. Man, and y'all,
Yeah,
the crazy part about this is hearing Fish's name is like, y'all don't realize, like, I grew up on Fish with the Fab Five. So, like, watching him go to San Diego State and start that whole thing was really dope because that was my youth. That's who I grew up on. I grew up on the Fab Five, and that was my favorite college team of all time. So, Steve Fisher
right.
is a legend. I mean, he's a legend in everyone's mind, but like, that's really dope to hear and see that.
Absolutely.
What about you,
Absolutely.
Matt? You have a different, not different, but what
Yeah,
was
a
your,
little different path to get to San Diego
yeah.
State. Yeah, nah. So shoot, playing ball, my biggest thing was just like see how far I could take it as far as like, I mean, coming from where I'm from, San Bernardino, it's like it's a dream to try to play at the next level, which is college. That was our NBA. Like if you can kind of, say you can get some offers and get to that college level, but then the city, everybody's looking at you like you really, succeeded and did something. So that was always my thing. That was always my like determination as far as I got to get to college, I got to get D1. And, throughout high school, just really working, I was a 6'2" big man entering high school. I was a bruiser. I was a football player. So now I'm posting everybody up. I'm doing all this. And I had to really develop my game, spent, hours and hours playing pickup, in the streets, in the gyms, working out with all these type of guys and stuff to where, I put myself in position to commit to UC Berkeley my junior year. And the biggest thing with me, San Diego State, just, down the block, 2 hours away. Coach Dave Velasquez, he came and watched me, Coach Dutch, he's on the circuit looking at me. But they were very honest with me, like, Matt, like, you come in as a freshman, like, we're big on like, experienced guys. You got to learn the culture here. You got to learn the defense, and this is like something that you got to take into consideration. Coming here as a freshman, like you might not really see the floor, and
Mm.
for me, I'm like, I want to play. Like I want to play. Like that's all I like to do is just play. Like I'm not even like a big, I'm not a big scout guy. I'm not a big. I just like to hoop. So with
Yeah.
UC Berkeley in the
Yeah.
picture, they were a struggling team. It was in the Pac-12, and I'm like, let me go here and try to like help and change things around. So I spent 3 years there. Coach King Jones recruited me. Shout out him, great coach. And then new coaching staff, new everything. COVID hit to where I was like, you know what? I put myself in a position where I can go to look at many options as far as school wise. And this is still before NIL. This is strictly just for the love of game. Like, where am I going to go as far as what is best for me hoop wise. And San Diego State was just a clear no brainer. I think I committed 1 week into the portal. I had all these other schools reaching out to me, but I kind of had an idea that I wanted to go to San Diego State. They accepted me with open arms. And then, I'm really glad with my decision. It worked out. And it's like to go from, Cal losing and stuff, to a national championship is just, contending
Crazy.
is crazy.
Crazy, bro. That's funny you say. I'm glad that you mentioned the football because, like, when I see the person you play, I remember first walking in the gym because Sam Stoll being my friend, and that's the connection here, which is I always come to see Sam wherever he's going, right? So that year he got let go at San Diego, and he jumped onto the staff there, and so of course I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come visit the fam, so I'll bring my camera with me, whatever. And when I walked in the gym that first time, I was like, well, first I walked in and Seiko was going through shooting drills. And I was like, hey, that's a knockdown.
Yeah,
He
he be
was like,
working
oh yeah,
hard.
and then I seen, Keyshawn like up on the rim. And I'm like, y'all got like 7 pros on this team, bro. Like, I was like, this is not this. I ain't seen nothing like this before, bro. Like, you guys got a squad. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You easily have 7 pros on this team. And, more than that, actually. I mean, in pro, I say pro by like they could go play basketball after college if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and and so yeah, man. When you said football, it's like, yeah, that's your game. You a bruiser scorer.
Yeah. Lift the weights. Yep. Everything.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the game though, because it was just like, oh, I know he gonna punish niggas. So yeah, go ahead, Jay. Damn, you got.
Yeah, let's talk about that Final Four run. Is there a moment that it hit you guys that it was like you guys were part of something like historic? Was it like during the run, or was it once it was over? It's like, damn, we did something.
You want to go, Matt?
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Man, the Final Four run is something like you can't really fathom and understand it fully. Like I still never like don't understand like we really made the Final Four. Like we really
Yeah.
did that because as a young kid, you watch CBS, you hear this theme song, you see the Final Four, you always dream about this stuff, right? And before you know it, okay, we got the first round game against
Charleston.
Charleston. Charleston, okay. We knew that was gonna be a dogfight. That was gonna be a dogfight. All guys attack the glass. There was just some dogs. So we knew that we had to get that game out the way first. We was not looking forward to anything. We weren't downplaying them at all. We were like, we gotta win this game because our history, we make the tournament all the time, but we always lost in the first round.
And they picked us to lose that game too, right?
And they picked us to lose that game too,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we beat Charleston by a few points. We're like, okay, Furman. All right, we definitely knew it was gonna be Furman, right? Got them out of there real quick, 30 ball. real quick, 30 ball.
He
Okay,
said like,
respect, yeah,
yeah.
respectable
I mean,
team.
they made it. They a good team too, but yeah, y'all
They
smacked
beat
them.
Virginia on a buzzer. That was crazy, and it worked out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all were supposed to play Virginia in that game.
We was watching that live too.
Yeah. Right.
That was wild. So then we got beat Furman, and then we're like, damn, we're going to the Sweet 16. Now we know like we really doing it. Like once you hit the Sweet 16, it's like, okay, now you know you can really do this.
Yeah.
So we got Bama, of course, and prepared for them tremendously over the week. I mean, everybody was laser focused. Matt from Matt to the ball boys to everybody who was all locked in. So beat Bama, and then
Hold up, can we stop there real quick? That's
uh
because you just say we beat Bama, like that's not.
Yeah, my bad.
They were
Yeah,
the
yeah.
number ones. They had Brandon Miller, a top 3 pick. Like they were
Yeah.
expected to win that game. But I said, like I was like, yeah, but you got 7 pros over here too. Like you got guys over here too. This
Yeah.
is not going to be just a easy. This is because everyone's picking Bama, of course.
Right.
But like I was like, I don't know. I think we play defense and we got a chance.
Yeah.
Like so. Tell me about that game. Like, was there anything about that game that you? I'm sorry, I wanted to just stop there because we're at the
No, you're
Sweet
good. Yeah.
Bama. Like, was
Go
there
ahead,
any
Matt.
stories? What stories you got about that game that?
Yeah, no, I remember warming up when we get there. We're playing in at University of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, right? Yeah, so nice gym. We in there warming up. We get on the court, and like I know our team's full of older dudes, like bigger, strong guys. Like that's what we were known for. But I look over at Alabama, and they just like a bunch of 6'10", 6'9", corn fed. Then you got Brandon Miller. I'm like, yo, these dudes kind of big over there. They over there dunking, like really getting on a full workout before the game. And I'm kind of peeping them out like, oh, these some real dudes over here. I'm like, it's gonna be a dogfight because I know we tough. Like, we don't got no like McDonald's All-Americans. We don't got no young guys playing. It's a bunch of 23, 24-year-old, 22-year-old men, about to play against some young, talented guys. And I think they did like the age comparison and all that. But a big thing in the press conference when we kept reinstating is like, they're not gonna beat us with one guy. We got 8 dudes ready to guard one guy. We switching off, we helping because we play, we play like zone man to man.
Gap defense.
Yeah, gap defense, running gaps.
Yep.
So anytime Brandon Miller, anytime one guy's gonna try to go at us, our brothers, we're gonna help each other, and it goes to show. Brandon Miller went 2 for 17 or something like that. Javon really got blocked like 5-6 times at the rim. He's jelly fam. So
They're down Sears too. I think Sears was like a sophomore, I think, or something.
yeah.
So yeah, they actually played. And one thing, they played to our advantage. That was a good thing about them because they were so aggressive that we were able to play in the gaps. And so we were able to show bodies, and we knew that they had a hard time getting in there and kicking it out. They want to play one-on-one. So, shout out to the coaches also, for coming up with a great game plan.
Yeah, our scouting was impeccable. And then, we had some guys really step up. Darion Trammell had a great game, had 20-something. Nate Mensah had about 5-6 blocks. Everybody stepped up. And the thing about our team that was really special, you never know who was going to have a good game. I actually played extremely bad that game. But, the team was so good. Those are the teams that succeed really well is when you don't rely on just 1 or 2 guys. Anybody can have that moment. And I watched like our full season mixtape. There's games. Seiko was our best player. I was our best player. 1 through 8. Everybody was the best player at certain moments. So that's what really worked for our team in that tournament run. But yeah, no, that Sweet 16. Once we won that one, it was like we might as well go to the championship. Might as well. Yeah.
We'll make the Final Four.
All right, so we get to the.
After that Bama game, I remember that moment when you guys beat Bama. I was in Vegas with Shock, Dave.
For real.
And that was the last leg of my parlay. I ain't gonna cap. I was so hyped when y'all won.
Oh, you had us on the last leg?
I had you guys a spread. They had you guys it might have been like 8 points.
Like 8. Yeah, like 8 point, right? Yeah.
Okay. And I took the +8. I was like, oh, this is easy. I think they're gonna win. So I took the +8, and that was the last leg. And all the people we was with took it too, though. So we was hyped.
Yeah.
It's amazing, bro. That's lit.
Yeah,
that's so lit.
I understand why you ain't pick us with it. You picked the point spread. I get it.
We was just playing it safe, man.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. Now I got a lot of people coming up to me now, like, man, you want me some money back in the day. They always tell me that. So
yeah. All right, Seiko, you got it. Keep narrating. So we get to the final. We get Bama.
So we got Bama. God bless. Played Creighton. Next up, we got Creighton, my little brother. Obviously that was a huge headline. But more importantly, of course, we were more focused and going to win the game. So y'all saw what happened in that game. Last seconds. I'm taking the ball out. I throw it. Mike is posting up. I throw it. I overthrow it because let me kind of break down the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I haven't talked about this like publicly a lot, and there's been a lot of misconceptions and TikTok videos posted about me trying to screw the game, trying to rig the game. I had money on the game. So, which is obviously, come on, like we don't got to argue that. But so basically, I think there was like 30 seconds left. Mike is posting up, and so I overthrow it, and Shireman's on him, and I overthrow it because he's posting up right bar at basket. So I don't want Shireman. I don't want to throw it short, so that Shireman can maybe have a chance. I want Micah to be able to run and get the ball.
Yeah.
So I throw it, and then as soon as I throw it, and I love Micah Parrish. Okay, don't I'm just talking about what happened. This is what happened, right? So as soon as I throw it, he kind of lets go of Shireman, his position. Shireman swims around him. Shireman gets it, lays it in. And then from then, I think 20 seconds go by. Darion gets fouled. He went 2 for 2, right?
Yeah.
2 for 2 to win. Yep, 2
Oh,
for
no,
2 in that.
I think he missed one, and made the second one.
Yeah.
Missed the first one, made the second one, I think.
Okay.
I think he made the first one, missed the second one.
Made the first one, okay, yeah. Because I remember it was like, ooh, snap. Like I was like, okay, but yeah, he still.
This was to go up. This was to go up regardless, though, because it was a tie game,
right?
And so basically from there, they threw it. He made both. They threw it. They threw it out of bounds. The refs. There was a huge wait after Creighton took the ball out, and they reviewed the play who was out on for like 10 minutes. So we're all just standing around waiting. There's like probably gonna be 0.1 on the clock. So we're ready to celebrate. Everyone's ready to celebrate, but at the same time, it's like I'm on the sound like, guys, wait, let's just see what happens. And then there's another videos going around about me like, oh, Seiko's like, he's saying, wait, review it. I'm like, man, these people, like, the internet is a really crazy place, right? It's a really crazy place. I learned that after all that stuff. But, after we beat Creighton, that's when, the emotions from then on were just insane and unfathomable. So
yeah, and we lost to him the year before in the tournament. So
in the first round,
the first round. So it was like a get back game, and the way we won was kind of like the way we lost, and that was something that haunted me all the way up to that point. Was I was at the free throw line late in the game, missed the 1-and-1. They came back and put it in overtime. We lose in overtime. So we would have played Kansas next game. They won the national championship, but that's a game where we should have won. And Darion, when he made those free throws or 1 or 2 or whatever, it kind of like had that like trauma of almost missing those, like kind of release from it. And I'm like, okay, we got him back. And that was another game I kind of played rough. And it was just like at that point you get so caught up in your individual performance, but once you make it that far, it's like I'm just here for a ride. I'm just here for a ride at this point. Like, like let me not worry about myself. And that's what, you get so caught up in yourself sometimes. But sure. Yeah. No, it was cool.
Yeah, that's what made that team special, though. Like, because I remember, you didn't play well leading up all the way to the Final Four. And I remember with P. Scott, we were sitting there talking. I was like, bro, Matt's due. Like, he's scored way too many buckets to not have a breakout game at some point. Like, he's going to go crazy at some point. We knew it
was coming.
We knew it was coming. Like, pause. But but still, like, so beat Creighton. That was Elite Eight, right? Creighton was Elite Eight. Oh yeah, so Bama, Creighton. Damn, you guys had a run, like Bama and Creighton back to back in the tournament's crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's to the Final Four, right? So we have Florida Atlantic, man. Okay, so this goes to my question. So you're on the floor. So the Florida Atlantic game, the Final Four game. This is a historic game, probably one of the best games in the history of the Final Four, in my opinion. And I've been alive for a lot of them, and that's up there. That's top 5 for sure, easily. Not maybe top 3. You were on the floor for Lamont's big shot. So tell us what was going through your head at the moment when Lamont Butler hit that shot to send you to the NCAA championship game. Like, relive that moment. Like, what, like, even leading up to it, or even just the game, anything, man. Like, that just, I want to know about what y'all were going through in that game.
Man, that was a feeling I try to describe to anybody. Like, I've never felt that before. It's like almost euphoric. Like, he hits the shot, you're looking amongst the crowd, like you're looking at, we were playing in the Houston, Texas arena, which is like 90,000 people. So it's like a video game where you look out into the crowd and like see the people. It almost looks fake in a sense, but like up close, you see all the celebrities. You see like, you can name, you just point and you see a celebrity, so it's a big time environment. You realize like we're really here, but Lamont, man, that season he hit a buzzer beater at New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Coach Dutch, he had like full faith, like, look, we're not gonna call no play. We're just gonna get a stop, do what we do. And he didn't even say who he wanted to get it. It was just like, we just come down and score. Like we're gonna come down and score. Like, like crazy, like nothing written up. And it just so happened to get Lamont, you might have some guys that, okay, they know, like, let's get it to this guy. Let's get it, it's like unspoken.
Yeah.
So Lamont, he comes and gets it, and Lamont, he's so like blank expression, like, he always got his mouth open, kind of like he's just like, like he just
mouth
chilling.
breather.
Yeah, he chilling, like you never like get him riled up, like it's like it works to his advantage almost. And sometimes it has moments, but it works to his advantage where like no moment is too big for him. He gets the ball, gets down. You like everybody's like, dang, he's casual. He's casual. Like you gotta do something. You gotta do because usually dude's gonna be sped up. He gets to the baseline. He's like that far from out.
Almost stepped out.
Yeah.
Almost stepped out. That far from
my gosh, bro.
Cross, hang jumper. I'm like, once he got that off and the dude wasn't really there, I said, oh, it's good. It's good. He makes it. And that feeling where it's just like half the gym is devastated. The other half is like super happy. And we're on the side of, people being happy. Man, dudes are in tears. We're in tears.
I don't even remember hearing like I remember hearing the crowd cheer, but it was so intense. All I could think about was like, did this really happen, or am I like in a dream right now?
Yeah.
Like, did we really hit a buzzer beater to go to the national championship? And and like Matt said, it's euphoric. You look at the crowd, it looks fake. It's like a video game. All you can do is celebrate and scream. And I mean, I don't think I was even screaming. I think I was like this the whole time.
Right.
Matt was like, I see Matt. Matt was just like, everyone's just in awe. You can't fathom it. So amazing. Like you said, Dave, amazing game. Probably a top 5 Final Four game as far as intensity and coming down to the wire. So
one of the happiest days in San Diego, and random people hugging each other. Like everybody got along that day in San Diego. I think.
Bro, it was crazy. When we were like walking around town. I got my San Diego State shirt here now, but like that's my keepsake because it's just like I'm getting chills even like in the stands. I was lightheaded. Like I wanted to faint because I was just yelling so loud, hugging the people next to you. Like I'm meeting family members of dudes and I don't even like. Yeah, it was crazy. You walk around town,
one big family.
Everyone, everywhere you went, it was like go Aztecs. It was super dope, man. I've never been a part of nothing like that before.
And it was so dramatic and such a thriller. I think that almost hurt us going into the championship game, which, we win that one in that style. It's almost like, regardless of what happens, we're just like, that was it, And we go into the championship game, adrenaline so high to where we get against UConn, which is like killing everybody. We gave them the closest game, but we're almost drained to the point of like, we celebrated. We felt so high in this moment. We couldn't really bring ourselves back down to like truly get ready for this game. We're almost like, in a sense, like we made it here. Like we won, we won. And we still wanted to win that game, but it was like the fashion of how we won that other one. Let's just say if we win that one by 10 points where, we win in a style of like, it doesn't have us so spiked. I think we go into this next game, the championship against UConn a little bit more prepared because, that night, everybody's up, everybody's on their phones, everybody's everybody's calling in. We want to party.
That's a good point.
We're from San Diego. We almost, we want to party for real. So, but yeah, it's just, but regardless, like we didn't, we went to that championship game, battled, and we came back home still feeling like the champions. So
of course, It's also hard to scout a team in 24 hours,
right?
Especially a team, especially UConn, okay? Because we have the best scout in the world. Don't get me wrong, our coach is an amazing scout. UConn, their actions, just action on action on action. They're an unbelievable team. Probably the best college team I've ever played against.
Yeah, they were good, man.
So huge credit to them, and it was
watching them live was impressive. Hawkins was impressive.
Big man.
No-go.
They're big, all of like they actually Klingon, just because that was his name. He came off the bench that year, didn't he?
Yeah, came off the bench.
He came off the bench.
Yeah, next season. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, back to
Dogs.
back champions. So they was legit. And that year they picked it up late around March Madness. Like they were 7-6 seed or whatever. Like they weren't like predicted to go that far, right?
Wait, UConn, was it UConn number one?
The next year, but our year.
Oh, the next year, yeah. The next year, I think they were like around a 3 or 4 seed. I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah, they weren't as good.
Yeah. Nah, crazy
No,
time.
Crazy part about that matchup too, that was pretty fascinating, was Sam. So Joey Calcaterra had played for Sam for 4 years, and so it was really dope seeing Joey, that because like we all, when he transferred, we were like, UConn, like, okay, you're going to UConn, okay, like, and then for them to meet, because I've known Joey for a long time. He's been there since freshman year, all 4 years,
right?
And for them to meet in the championship game after both of them go from San Diego is weird.
Yeah.
Like, and it was in the New York Times. There's actually an article in the New York Times on that. Yeah, it was dope.
Damn, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Calcaterra and Sam, because Sam coached there, right? With head coach.
Yeah, at USD.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that's a little fun fact.
Yeah.
J Dan, what you got?
I mean, they already kind of answered my question. My question was kind of just like, is there anything from that championship game that, like, from the game or the moment that you won't forget? And it was like, do you guys think back to that championship game, or is it more so about, that game winner and the high from that?
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah,
go ahead. No, go Matt. Go.
Yeah, nah. I mean, the championship. Say we lose that Final Four game, you don't really have that flex of like, oh yeah, we played in the championship. Because everybody likes to mention like, oh yeah, you guys were in the Final Four. But the thing is, like, yeah, we're in the Final Four, but we played in the national championship too. Like, we're contending. Like, you gotta low key state that, because we didn't just make the Final Four and you get bumped out. Like, we made the Final Four and we held it down to where we made it to the championship. And it's a whole different flex to say you won the championship, but to say you contended, top 2 team in the country at that point, just regardless of rankings, you're the top 2 team in the country.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. So it's like, I think being able to say that we played the national championship is great. And then also, that semifinal game is what really set the mark for, San Diego State and brought all that buzz to the city, But yeah, it just, it was 2 years ago. And like I was kind of mentioning earlier before we started, like, me and Shake, we didn't stay in college after that. That was our claim to fame. That was our, everything at that point when it came to college basketball, the time we put in, like, that all went for that moment. So now that we're like in our, lives adulting and stuff, and probably a day that doesn't really go by where you don't think about it, huh, Adam? Like, as far as,
absolutely,
as far as that time, and then all the other younger guys or whatever, they probably, they're on playing basketball and they kind of like maybe do their own thing and they're trying to reach that moment again. But as far as with us, it's like, shoot, I mean, we're out of college, so yeah, I mean, we think about it all the time. It always, and anybody I come across, they always want to bring it up to my attention, even if I, tend to downplay that I did that, So, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, I think, of course, the Lamont shot is going to be remembered forever, and that's what everyone's going to continue to talk about, as the highlight. But to be able to say, like, Master, you made the national championship, you gotta mention it. It's like, yeah, people say you made the Final Four. Like, now we made the national champion. Like, we made the national championship. We lost in the national championship. Okay. So it's a blessing, like, regardless, win or lose, we felt blessed to be there. Every day I think about the Final Four national championship, like Matt said, and it's going to live on forever. And that's in San Diego. For the team, the players, families. So it's historic and will never be forgotten for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I want to know who does the best Dutch impression.
Right, this man, right? Shit, like he's
a Dutch impression.
You've known him since 8th grade, So Shake, they've been known him for 20.
I don't think I can show the Dutch impression right now, man. I can describe it. You know how Dutch be on the sideline with his hands on his hips, and he be moving back and forward. He be so stressed out. He don't know, like, his hips are moving. He's like doing a hula hoop, Like, damn, Dutch, you over here handsome stroking. Dutch over here stroking the air, but you don't even know it. Like, you know.
He is hilarious. He is hilarious.
Dutch is cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, man.
Spend some time with, just hanging out with coach. Because I've hung out with a lot of coaching staffs and whatever. But like Dutch is really that guy, man. Like he really is that guy, bro.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. No, me and Shake, we just went back for like an alumni game, not too long ago. I mean, during the season, me and Shake, we're the youngest guys there, but Dutch, he was an assistant coach there for 20-some years before he became a head coach. So you see the relationship he established with all the players from 50 or 40 years old to us. It's like everybody loves him, even if you have not every college situation is the best situation. You might go there and it might not work out for you, but nobody can really say anything bad about Dutch. He's straight up, he's genuine, he's gonna let you know what it is, and he's still gonna try to make you happy at the end of the day. So I mean, that was one of my, and I'm somebody that always kind of had a little thing with coaches, especially at the college level. But with him, it was like you can't even get mad at the dude, like he's really a legit dude, So we all, it's Dutch for president for sure. Yeah, we all love Dutch.
Dutch we trust. Yep.
Dutch we trust.
So we were talking about this earlier. Like I feel like at least for this short time frame until things work out, y'all were the last athletes because you were on the cusp of NIL. Didn't NIL like just start with you that year or something like that, But I feel like it's going to be hard to have another team like your guys's, and Florida Atlantic too. Got to give them a shout out. Like that in the Final Four, like to make it that far because of NIL now and the way that things are set up. I feel like you guys were the last that we're going to see for a while. Maybe not. I could be wrong, but that's a hot take. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting take and a hot take because this is the first time we've seen all one season the Final Four, but like you said, the NIL plays a huge role. So I think what's key for a lot of mid-major programs now, because I think the mid-majors will be fine. They'll be fine because a lot of mid-majors are willing to, give up money, and a lot of these schools that you don't think have money have lots and lots of money. It's just because the NIL era, we weren't actually giving the players money, but all these schools have money and money to spread around. So like you said, the low major guys who work hard, JUCO guys, they're going to go to mid majors. At the same time, the money is going to decrease for a lot of players. It's going to decrease, like the money. Yeah, it's been lucrative the past few years, but I think the NCAA and university have realized like some players are getting way too much money. A lot of players are not really deserving of the money they're getting, to keep it real. Not even close. Not even close. So the money's going to go down. And so now it's just going to be a decision to, for a kid. And I tell high school kids this because I train high school kids and stuff over here. Go somewhere, whether you're JUCO or coming out of high school or prep school, go somewhere where you're going to play. Okay. Go somewhere where you're going to, the money's going to be there. Everywhere you go, they're going to be providing money, but put your play at the forefront. Make sure you're going to be able to get on the court because from then on, then you have a chance. But I do think mid majors will stay in the mix. I do think that mid majors will, continue to make 8 runs, Final Four runs, but it's just about continuing to seek out the right players.
Yeah. And I mean, and now it's like every colleges are like JUCOs. Like you got 1 or 2 years with these guys, and then they're gonna put themselves in a situation that's best for them. And people like to say, "Oh, like there's no loyalty," but the thing is, like if a coach is coaching at a mid major or low major, and he gets an offer from Duke or Kentucky to go coach there with a whole big pay grade, I mean, the coach is gonna take it. And it's the same with the players. If they put themselves in a position where they've been hooping at this low major or this mid major, and now they get a chance to, change their life. A lot of these dudes ain't gonna go to the NBA. I mean, you leave college and you might hit the G League and make $50,000, but the college is offering something that's like real money and like guaranteed too. So I like it, but you got to do it in like a 1 or 2 year span where you got to build this team on the fly. So it's kind of making things a lot more challenging, but it's a trickle effect. High majors. Then you see like some of the top paid teams, they didn't even make the tournament. Indiana, Washington, they had $1 million dude over there at Washington. They didn't make the tournament, So it's like sometimes your investments don't even really pan out. I mean, and now the high major guys are going mid major, the mid major guys are going low major. And like I mentioned earlier, I just feel bad for the high school guys because you got to be that much better coming in, not only talent wise, but physical wise. You got to be kind of a grown man, so you're probably gonna have a lot of dudes getting double held back now. Held back, which was already the case, but a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting to see what goes down. So I put on Twitter like right after the last tournament, I'm like, we were the last team that's going to be an NCAA tournament championship type team on a budget, because we did have NIL, but and the teams we played against, I'm pretty sure are getting paid a lot more than us, other than like probably FAU.
Yeah.
And but yeah, now that's never gonna happen again. I mean, at least not for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening again, bro.
Quick point. I think that the schools that have culture, and have foundation, I think those schools are going to continue to succeed. Like Houston, Houston has culture.
Yep.
Those guys have been there for years and years. They're not just going to up and transfer. They have young guys, redshirt guys, who are probably going to stay. They're probably going to come in and be like, "Damn, where these guys come from now?" But they've been in the program. Duke has culture. Florida, those guys been together for the past 3 years, right? Auburn, those guys been together for the past 4. A few of them transferred in, but culture is a huge thing. So if you're a team with no culture, you're going to be getting guys recycled in and out, and it's just going to, continue to be that way.
Oh yeah, I think what it's just the NIL era is just going to be different now. I feel like back when I was in college, like 2015, coaches are damn near talking shit if you're posting too much on social media. You know what I'm saying? And now that I got kids, I look at it way different now. It's like, nah, man. By the time you're in high school, you almost want to build a following going into college now. It's like, because you could get a bag. I mean, obviously basketball and football, if you're nice, you could get a lot. But if you're like, my son loves baseball, and it's like, nah, you might have to have a following. So by the time you get to college, you could get a bag, So I feel like it's a completely different era now where it's like, nah, be bigger on social media, have a presence, and, it can affect how much you get paid now in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, J-Dam.
Yeah, I think it's important more than ever. Like, you paid me $300,000. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up and go to the gym early in the morning. And you gotta really love the game and not that money, especially at a young age. I mean, you're not as mature as a pro athlete adult that's in their 20s, 30s and stuff. You're 18, 17-year-old man with, a kid with, a couple $100,000. You give that to me, I'm sorry. Like, I love hoop.
Hey guys, let me grab my charger real quick, okay?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
You give me $200,000, I might not want to hear you out as much.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's real. So Matt, I think, can you paint the picture? So now, since we're talking about NIL and we were getting towards the end of the pod, I want to paint the picture for post basketball for all the YNs out there. You know what I mean? Because we talked about this earlier. Like, what are you up to now, and what does post life basketball look like for you? Because you are a pro. Like, you obviously had the ability to go pro. Like, but talk about your journey after basketball.
Yeah, no. So, my whole life was basketball, all the way up till high school, college. Once you get a little older, you kind of get exposed to new things. And that's what happened to me. Some people get exposed to them earlier, some people get exposed to them later. And things I got exposed to were pretty good and I liked, and kind of took away some like of that drive I had towards basketball. And, and a lot of people don't really understand. It's like, some of it is uncontrollable. Some of it's uncontrollable. People ask me all the time, man, why don't you play ball? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? And sometimes it's like, I don't even really have an answer for you. It just didn't work. My timing stopped. The ball stopped for me different. It's always going to stop eventually for everybody. But for me, it happened to be just 1 year out of college. I went and played pro. I just needed to try it out. I tried out both realms. I tried out the NBA, G League, and I tried out the overseas. I did overseas. I was in Germany. Me and Shaq were actually both in Germany, kind of. And, it was a situation where you're dealing with a whole different culture. You're dealing with people that, it's business, and you got to be able to deal with it and deal with the hardness of it in order to get through it. You got to invest a lot of time in for it to work for you. And that's something I wasn't really willing to do, because my clock for playing pro basketball was maybe 2-3 years. I was like, let me do 2-3 hard years, get the bag, and then try to, go into new endeavors. But after that first year, I realized, like, I didn't really set myself up in a position to do that. I had to kind of start off at the same level I just entered, which was good. I was top league Germany, but pay wise was like, I'm not really trying to do that again. I was hoping to, make big jumps, and that wasn't the case. So I, tried the G League. You try to go to the G League, you realize, whew, man, these guys, I'm in there with Thon Maker, Alonzo Trier. I'm in there with guys that you ain't heard of in a while, but they're really trying their best to get back into the league. And I'm just a dude that's here, straight off of just chilling in the summer, hanging out, out of shape, and I'm like, nah, let me be honest with myself. I ain't that dude no more. And these dudes I used to see, I used to be better than you. Now that, I can tell you've been in the gym and I haven't. So it's just, but now, I'm teaching. I'm still involved with basketball, which is really good. I'm working out these kids and I'm putting them through it. I'm putting them through it. It's like stuff I used to like to do, but I'm just so glad I don't got to do it no more. Cause I'm like this is for you to do, like my hands, like you won't see me doing this no more, but I got all the tricks to help you get better. All the little runs, all the little, workouts. Like I don't want to do it no more, but I love giving my knowledge, giving my game to the youth. And I mean, there's a life after basketball. I was super deep rooted in basketball, but I'm fine. I'm working. I got my own little crib right now, just adulting at 25. And it kind of, what I look at it is that I started my next chapter sooner than later. Some people started at 30 something, some people started later when hoop's done, but luckily I was able to start it earlier just to kind of set myself up for this next, endeavor in my life, which, I'm really grateful for. And basketball did its job for me, got me my degree. So many people gave me a national championship, run, and it couldn't get no better than that. So I look like, basketball definitely did its part.
That's dope, man. So Seiko, I was just talking about post basketball. Like what does that look like for you? And just talking about that, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, Matt, me and Matt have, this is my brother, so we've been talking over the past, since we graduated and, going into our pro careers, me and Matt have communicated so much because we were in the same position almost, like going overseas, really far away from home. And we contacted and communicated with each other and, uplifted each other in times, you remember, Matt, we would text sometimes, just to like check in on each other, see how each other's doing because it gets isolated and it can get lonely, when, you're millions of miles away from home for 8, 9 months. So you have to have patience. And me and Matt, we were both dedicated to the game. Like, don't get us wrong. We always put the work in, right? We always put the work in and prepared. But over time, it's like, everyone has their own purpose, everyone has their own purpose. Everyone runs their own race. And after a year for both me and Matt, we felt like we had to step away from the game. We should step away from the game. And it took a lot. It wasn't an easy decision at all for myself. I know it wasn't for Matt. After last summer, it was such a tough time of trying to figure out what direction we're going in. Me and Matt were talking. We were trying to figure out what direction are we going in, And then on top of that comes your faith in God, right? Me and Matt, God is at the forefront of our lives, of course. And, we uplift each other with our faith and always, talking about, God has a purpose for us. I always tell Matt, God has a purpose. Basketball may not be right now our purpose right now. And it can't be later, but right now I had a calling of like stepping away from the game for a little bit, to get into training, coaching, giving back to the game. And so that's what I've been doing, for the past 5 months, coaching Arthur's old high school team over here, training a bunch of kids, and just giving back to the next generation. Because that's what I feel like I should be doing right now. And I know me and Matt have a bunch of resources. A lot of kids, a lot of guys who play pro, they don't have as many resources outside of basketball or maybe off the court. So they got to put all their marbles sometimes in that, which is respectable, because you got to grind, you got to do what you got to do. But we have resources, we have connections, people in San Diego, fan bases. So we can do some big things. And me and Matt are planning to do some big things in the future in San Diego, maybe hold a couple camps next summer or this upcoming summer, maybe if we can. So it's definitely a process after stopping playing, but I'm happy with my decisions right now. Yeah.
Sure.
Get it twisted. We'll still get some buckets on. Get out there and play a little bit.
Of course. I still work out every day with the high school guys. We still play. Yeah.
I be busting them. I tell the kids, man. Yeah.
No, I think it's dope though. I mean, being able to turn that page and find a passion in something new. A lot of guys can't do it, and they never can't. You see guys that are 5 years off, like still waiting on that call, and it's like shit. You gonna keep waiting, you know, but like, even for me, it was hard for a while to turn the page. Like I had an injury. I tore my adductor tendon and it pulled off a piece of my pelvic bone. And I missed a full season after that. And that was like my last week in China. I missed a full season after that. And I'm still trying. After that, I started doing like training and coaching at Wilson Higher in Tacoma. And then the following year, I'm still trying to go overseas still. And then it wasn't until me and my wife had our kid where it's like, man, I was training full time, I was coaching, and it's like, damn, I'm still doing this. I'm around the game. I'm still trying to get my workout in, but I'm not even seeing my kid too much. That's what made me like, okay, let me switch it up, find a new passion that and it was like my thing was I've had way too many damn injuries. I'm about to open a recovery spot. And it led me to. And even at I think it was like 6 months after I opened this, it was I got a call to go play in Romania. And it was just like, man, that shit didn't even sound fun anymore. It was just like, man, I got 2 kids now. Me leaving my family for 9 months to go to fucking Romania.
Yeah,
It was like,
bro.
nah, it's I feel like I'd be moving backwards in life, man. It wouldn't have been fun at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's tough about it,
definitely.
though. Like, I think me and Adam, we didn't really necessarily have an injury, so it was kind of like it either could be like harder or easier. Like, it was our decision versus like an injury kind of forced you like, okay, now I got to look at things differently. I think like that's the case for a lot of people. Like, either it's an injury or it's either like just the opportunity isn't there no more, and it's like now the cards are dealt on you, which I felt like, me, it was like, I could go. And like you said, I had a call in Poland. I'm like,
Mhm.
hell no, I'm not going to no Poland.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool.
Oh God.
Like,
Oh
I don't care
God.
what they
I
offer
don't
me.
know.
I'm not going to no Poland. Like,
I don't care
Yeah.
what they offer.
yeah, like I'm at the crib. Like, if I want to go play ball, like I'll go play at the local, pickup
Yep.
court and, feel good about
Mm,
myself. So,
Yep.
so like Romania, Poland, like it's a grind, man. And a lot of
Oh yeah.
dudes, you got dudes
the
that are
culture's
willing to do that.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
I
coaching too. I had a Croatian coach, man. That nigga was nuts.
Yeah.
Lunatic, bro.
He was
Yeah.
talking
Lunatic, bro.
crazy to
You
you, I
start on
bet.
my
Oh
yeah.
man, I mean, talking crazy, bro. But you got to adjust though. You learn to adjust, to it because you have to. You have to. But
Yep.
then I'm sure Matt dealt with the same thing. A lot of these they do a lot of backstabbing things. Some of these organizations they do shady things sometimes.
Yeah.
And you don't know why, and it's just not somebody I even wanted to be around anymore.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Once
just
it
left the
once it went,
national championship. It's like I went from the national
yeah,
championship to now I'm on a team that's like being a little bit weird, this and that. I'm like, and I feel like the level I'm playing at, like they're really good, but I'm like, I could come out here and hoop, and it's not about that. We're paying you this money to do this job. It's kind of like any role in a work environment. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be the boss sometimes. You got to be the cashier. You got to be the and that's what I was. It was like, we paying you to play defense full court like you Patrick Beverly. I'm like, I never been that
He
type of
said,
guy.
he
Yeah,
said,
I
I'm
thought,
man.
No, yeah.
Shake, like I ain't no, I'm not no guy that's gonna guard full court and fight through the screens and switch on everything and not
Yeah,
shoot
that's
no
not your
jumpers.
that's not your game, man. They
That's not
should
my
have.
game.
For
Yeah,
me, I could do that. I could do that all day. I could do that all day. But for you, they definitely should have adjusted a little bit.
yeah,
No, but this is combos that I feel like some of the young kids need to hear though, because I
yeah,
I
for
hear young
real.
kids like high schoolers even college guys throw it out so like easily, like it's so easy to go overseas now. Like I talked to someone and they talk to me like overseas is a backup plan. Like, yeah, if it don't work out at this school, I'm gonna just go overseas. And it's like, what? Bro, you think college is hard? You
yeah,
are not playing overseas. Like,
yeah,
and I have to tell kids like, man, it's not what you think it is. Like I
Especially
don't
if you're
know.
American.
yeah.
Exactly. So I'm glad we're having this conversation because I hear it a lot here in Tacoma where they just think it's so easy to like, yeah, I'm gonna just go overseas. And they think you're just getting a whole bunch of money, you're living lavish, you
Yeah.
got a bunch of friends. Like, nah, it's not like that at all, man. It's a
And
grind.
overseas is such a vague word too, because it's like you got so many different levels of overseas. Like,
Yep.
yeah, you might be able to go overseas, but you'll be playing for like food and a place to stay, or you go overseas and have like you said, China. Like, I'm pretty sure you're well compensated. Like
Mhm.
Germany, like certain countries, like you get well compensated. But if you think you overseas and you want to go play at Mexico, at the little like outside courts or something, and call yourself an overseas player, like it's totally different as far as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the levels of overseas. And biggest thing
Yeah.
too, agents. Make sure you got a good
Yep.
agent.
Mm.
Not to bad talk my agent, but I just wish there are certain moves I made as far as with that process that I'm always thinking like, my game will speak for itself. My game will speak for itself. That wasn't the case at all. You know, you got to have a good agent. So there's a lot of things as far as professionalism that you got to take care of off the court in order to like succeed at that level. So yeah.
Absolutely, you're hitting on the head.
Yep. That's real. That's real talk. And that kind of goes into the last part, which is, because I know we got to get wrapped up, but the investment side of things. And, you know, like, are you interested in that part of things, or do you have any plans in terms of investment? Because I mean, I think that's the end game here for us, just being transparent, is making sure that guys do have some of that education and just exposure. You don't got to be the smartest dude. You don't got to know everything. It's just exposure to like investing in something, buying a house, like figuring out how you can leverage the money that you're making overseas back home or whatever. And I feel like some of that should be an agent's job, you know, or someone on your team, or someone in the background. It could be a family member, anybody, or it could be this podcast where you're listening to other guys talk about it. But I'm really feel strongly about that, because I don't want to see guys come out of being great and have so much talent, not just from basketball, but just are smart people like you two, you know, and just having the platform and leveraging that and using it. Do you guys have any plans or any goals or any wishes or hopes or suggestions or game to put on to any other kids that might be going through what you're going through right now?
Man, Dave, that's really good. You know, that's a part where, you know, I think my whole life was basketball up till, you know, a year ago. So, you know, you're kind of behind the ball on financial literacy and like learning things about how to like hold your money, how to make money, you know, passive income and stuff like that. I'd say the biggest thing is like being young, and you have a little bit of money to sit on, don't just let it sit in your checkings, you know, like, you know, this is stuff, this is just basic information that I've like learned just recently. I got all this money sitting in my checkings. It's not making any money for me. You put it in a CD, put it at least in a savings, put it in, you know, and something, you know, where it can kind of grow, because you got no bills to pay. You might as well let it like make some money for you. And that's just one form of passive income. But you know, I'll definitely be tuned in, you know, because this is something I'm learning as far as, you know, working out, you know, I'm trying to get multiple streams of income. And because like you may not feel like you have as much money as you need to really invest in certain things, there's always different avenues to do it. So I'll definitely be tuned in with what you guys going on. But my dad really big into real estate.
Good.
And he's kind of, you know, when I'm young and growing up, he's trying to teach me anything. I don't care about that. I want to hoop. Now that I'm working, I got bills to pay. I'm sitting down with Pops a lot more. Like, look, man, let's talk, because you know so I'm gonna be tuned into the podcast and, you know, learn what I can learn. But as far as with young fellas, you got a little money, do something with it. Don't just let it sit, you know, in one place where it's making no interest and stuff like that. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, I'll be short, but no, yeah, I appreciate you guys, J Dam and Dave Jones, especially you know, the real estate stuff that you guys were talking about beforehand, you know, kind of putting us on game, because I've been wanting to get into real estate as well in the near future, trying to work on getting my license. Because like Matt said, you know, it's important to have multiple streams of income. And then I do have a few friends that have software companies, stock companies. So, you know, I'm doing my due diligence and research into where I want to put my money and how much of my money I want to put it into. So, invest, you know, that's when you got to do your research on, though, because a lot of people will say a blanket statement like, oh yeah, I'm putting my money in this and stock, but you got to do your due diligence and do your research on these things, because a lot of things crash, a lot of things go down, you know, so you want to be smart about that. If college kids are, you know, going to listen to this, or anybody, high school kid, save your money. Save. I mean, when you're a freshman to your first stipend, you know, of course, when you're a freshman in college, you want to get your first check, you want to get tattoos. I do the same thing. I got some tattoos, you know, got clothes, got shoes, or all that. But over time, you know, you realize how important the money is, and it's better to take care of it sooner than later. Way sooner than later, because you get all this NIL money before you know it. You may be blowing it, and then senior year comes, and Dutch, this is something that Dutch always preached to us. You know, that stipend check after May of, you know, your senior year is not there no more.
Yeah, you ain't get no stipend no more.
And he tells you that from when you're a freshman, right? He tells you that from when you're a freshman. So then it's on you, you know, to take care of your money. And so, That's the biggest thing, because once you leave college, like Matt said, it's not easy. You're not gonna play basketball forever. You're gonna have to figure out different ways to go, and having a you know, income, having money in your bank, having savings is only gonna help you, rather than buying drinks every weekend, buying weed, doing all this other extra stuff. You know, of course, college kids like to have fun, but like, I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real. Like, this is like
Yep.
85% of probably players do all this stuff in college, right? But you gotta minimize it over time. You have to minimize it, and if you can minimize it as early as you can, the more money you save from spending on bullshit and other things.
Budget.
For real. Damn. That's well, we're gonna have to end on that. But man, y'all were a special group, man. Like y'all got your head on your shoulders. Nate, like, and that goes for everybody in that whole team. I still keep up with Elijah and Miles and all the young bulls on the team. And I just feel like that was a really, really special time and special group, and San Diego legends forever. Like you guys can walk in that city and you pretty much, you guys carry a torch that, I don't know, man. Like, I know it doesn't feel like that, but you've impacted a lot of lives already, man. Like, and mine included. That was a time I will never forget. And just meeting you guys and being able to, and I get inspired, and hopefully the goal is to inspire others, to doing great things. So I appreciate y'all jumping on. Last segment we have is Put Me On. So just anything. It could be a song, it could be a restaurant, it could be a food, it could be whatever you're on right now. Put people on. Like, I like on new shit. So I'll just start. Like, for me, LaRussell, just right now, I feel like LaRussell is doing, I just saw him. He was just up in Seattle and Tacoma, and he taps in with our area. So I just got to see him, and I just love
Bay,
his
right?
movement. Yeah, he's from the Bay, and he's just doing it independent, just doing it out the back of his house, literally. And I just really love his movement, man. And I just really like how he's getting down. He's just hella cool. Like, I was sitting there with my camera, and he taps me on the shoulder on the thing, and I turn around as LaRuss, and we just dap up like his home. He's like, man, because it was a meet and greet joint. But he's just a cool dude. He's a regular cool dude, and he's just I just really like what LaRussell's on. So anything that he's doing right now, I'm on it.
Okay. What you guys on right now?
Shoot, man, I'm playing this pickleball. Y'all need to get out there. It's starting the weather's starting to get nice. I get out there, man. If you need a little date spot, if you need a little, whatever it is, play with some homies. It's competitive. And the thing is, like, it don't matter how old you are, you can get beat on by some old man. So, I get out there with my little pickleball stuff. If I ain't really trying to play ball, get out there, play a little pickleball. That's my little put me on, because, the weather's nice right now. It's springtime. I'm pretty sure out there in like Seattle and Tacoma is like starting to get nice too. So try out pickleball. It's cool. You meet new people, social, but also, it's really competitive. It gets like that. So yeah,
Okay.
Play a little pickleball.
Damn, I can't lie. That was gonna be mine, because I played pickleball so many times the past few months. me and my girl go. Me and my little sisters go. It's so fun. So fun to play.
Yeah. We some old heads now.
Man, bro, let's put on. If I'm gonna get, I'll go a little different route. I'm gonna push y'all on to another guy actually that has a podcast.
Okay.
That I'd be watching. His name, I'm not sure if y'all heard of him, but his name is Andrew Wilson. He's a Christian. He's a Christian man. Has a really big debating podcast on YouTube called The Crucible, and I enjoy watching him. Like, kind of, in today's generation of so politicized and stuff, kind of dismantle, all like the wokeness and all this other stuff that we got going on in the world. But it's called The Crucible. Andrew Wilson. He has really good debates on his channel. He's a really funny guy, entertaining to watch. So that's what I'll put y'all on to.
All right,
and
cool.
then the Dave Jones, and then the Brick by Brick podcast too.
What you got, Jordan? You got something?
Man, I don't know. I actually, when I was in middle school, I used to play pickleball all the time in camp.
Okay.
But the last couple weeks, I've been pissed off at pickleballers here in Tacoma. They take over every hoop.
Take over
every hoop. I've been trying to go, like, the last couple weeks, I've been trying to just not necessarily get back in the hoop, but it's like, man, I'm about to start playing some men's league game or something. And I'll go in there, and them old ass pickleballers, and they're like, nope, this is our
all
time.
courts.
So I've been telling myself, I'm about to pick up the paddle and go in there and bust their ass one of these days.
You gotta get them work. Like, we ain't.
I gotta put them on.
I got next. Bet I got next.
For real, it's like, I'll be here next week. Bet.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's cool.
That's so true. They be taking up all the courts nowadays, man. It's kind of annoying.
No, I really do think. I was just telling a friend, I was like, man, you need to start a pickleball league, like with old pros
You might
going
as
play
well, yeah.
pickleball, and
Oh,
have
yeah.
that be a league. I was like, college players, pros, like start
Yeah.
that up.
Right,
For real.
right.
There you go, free game, and whoever has the money that wants
Hey,
to
man,
get
make some,
capital
get our bread up, and then we can start
Hey,
something.
now.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
go up. Well, man, we're gonna wrap there. I appreciate y'all coming on. We got Matt Bradley, Adam Seiko, not Seattle, San Diego State, Aztec legends, and just legends in life in general. And I appreciate y'all, brothers, man.
Yeah,
Y'all
appreciate you
really,
guys.
Yes,
did
sir,
some
man.
big things.
Appreciate y'all too. Thank you very much for
And
having us.
yeah, and appreciate
Appreciate
y'all
you.
tapping in early too to the movement, because this is going, like you guys are early. So
Yeah.
It's all
appreciate
nah,
y'all.
growth.
we,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep,
we
for
tuned
sure.
in. We
Brick by
tuned in.
brick. We just building brick by brick, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
With
that's
sir.
a great
that,
name.
yeah, appreciate that, boss. All right, with that, we're out, y'all. Brick by
All right,
brick. Till
man.
the next one.
Oh, yeah.
God bless, man. God bless.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
Brick by brick.